Buttons is feeling sleepy. And Little Lion is ready for bed too. I hope you're ready for bed, because we've got a lovely bedtime story. I'll see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams.
Cbeebies bedtime story.
Oh, excuse me. Hello, I'm Tristan. I'm so sorry, I've got the sniffles today. I've been blowing my nose all day and I keep sneezing. I can't taste my food and no one wants to sit next to me. But luckily, I've got lots of tissues. Now, in tonight's bedtime story, every time Nat sneezes, something magical happens. The story is called Nat Fantastic and the Brave Knights of Old, and it's by Giles Andre and Catherine McEwen. This is Nat. He's playing a game and hoping his mummy will make him sausages, baked beans, egg and chips for tea. This is his favourite, especially the sausages. I'll just go and turn on the cooker, said his mummy. Now be a good boy and start putting your nights away. As soon as his mummy went into the kitchen, Nat's nose began to tingle. The tingle grew tinglier and tinglier until... Achoo! Nat sneezed an almighty sneeze. Flash, bang, whiz, kaboom! Nat Fantastic's in the room. And he was. That sneeze had changed Nat into a miniature superhero. Suddenly, Nat felt himself whizzing through the air at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Then, bump! He landed right on top of an enormous horse. And not only that, Nat found that he was wearing an amazing silver suit of armour. Then a man passed him a long lance. "Good luck, brave knight," he said. Nat's horse began galloping across a field right towards another knight, a knight dressed entirely in black armour. The knight was much bigger than Nat, and he looked very scary indeed, but Nat lowered his lance, and spring! The knight went flying out of his saddle and landed with a plop in the lake. "You're amazing, Nat Fantastic," swooned the damsel who was running towards him. "The Black Knight has held me captive until the day that he was defeated in a duel. You have freed me." And she gave Nat a huge kiss on the cheek, which Nat really quite liked. Suddenly, Nat felt his nose begin to tingle again. It got tinglier and tinglier until... Achoo! Nat sneezed an almighty sneeze, and he was back at home. At that very moment, Nat's mummy called out, "Tea's ready, darling. Come and sit down." After a little while, Nat's mummy said, "Oh, good. The washing machine's finished. Do you mind if I hang out the laundry? I'll be back in just a minute." Immediately, Nat's nose began to tingle. The tingle grew tinglier and tinglier until Nat sneezed an almighty sneeze. Achoo! Flash, bang, whiz, kaboom! Nat Fantastic's in the room. Suddenly, Nat felt himself whizzing through the air at 1,000,000 miles an hour until... splosh! He landed right in the moat of a knight's castle. Nat stood up and found he was wearing his amazing suit of armour again. And this time, he had a giant sword in one hand and a shield in the other. "Come on!" shouted a man beside him. "The baddies have captured our castle. We must get it back and save our friends inside." Soon, he and the other knights had charged through the gates of the castle and tied up the baddies. "Nat Fantastic's a hero. We must make him a special knight of honour." And they gave him a gleaming silver shield. Suddenly, Nat felt his nose begin to tingle again. It got tinglier and tinglier until... Achoo! And he was back in his kitchen at home. At that moment, Nat's mummy walked back into the room. "Have you seen my glasses anyway, darling?" "I think they're in my bedroom," said Nat. "You left left them there when you were reading to me last night. So Nat's mummy went upstairs to find them. Nat's nose began to tingle. The tingle grew tinglier and tinglier until... Achoo! Nat sneezed an almighty sneeze. Flash, bang, whiz, kaboom! Nat Fantastic's in the room. Suddenly, Nat felt himself whizzing through the air at 1,000,000 miles an hour until... boing! He landed right on top of a large purple cushion that was on the seat of an enormous throne. The throne was in the middle of a very long table where there were lots of other knights enjoying the biggest feast that Nat Fantastic had ever seen. And right in front of Nat was a huge plate full of sausages. And now, said a man, it is time to honour the bravest knight of all. He lifted up a big gold crown covered with jewels and placed it on Nat's head. Nat Fantastic, he said, you are the boldest knight amongst us, and now we crown you as our king. Everybody began to clap and cheer. Suddenly Nat felt his nose begin to tingle again. It got tinglier and tinglier until... Achoo! Nat sneezed an almighty sneeze, and he was back in his kitchen at home. At that very moment, Nat's mummy walked back into the room. That's better, she said, putting on her glasses. Now, have you finished your egg? No, Mummy, said Nat, but I've eaten a lot of sausages. Can I get down and play, please? Okay, said his mummy. And be a good boy now. So Nat went into the garden. And guess what? Just as Nat was beginning to play with his favourite car, he felt his nose begin to tingle. Luckily, Nat knew what was coming, so he took out a handkerchief and blew his nose. That's better, he thought. But it wasn't. Achoo! And that story was called Nat Fantastic and the Brave Knights of Old. What a great adventure. I wonder what adventures you'll have in your dreams tonight. Well, it's time for you to find out. So off you go to bed, sleep tight, and I'll see you soon for another bedtime story. Achoo!